Okay, this is kind of the last piece then of the trig is the inverses. And you can't see that. So if you know two sides of a right triangle, we can use what's called the inverse trig ratios to find the measure of the angle. So you have inverse sine, inverse cosine, and inverse tangent. And if we use this picture here, so if the sine of an angle equals, we'll say in this case A over C, so sine of A would be A over C, then we could find the measure of angle A by taking the inverse sine of A divided by C. And if cosine of A equals B over C, then we could find the measure of angle A by taking inverse cosine. Ran out of space there. I'm going to move my picture over here. Inverse cosine B over C. Oh boy. Okay. And then the last is inverse tangent. If tangent of A equals A over B, then the measure of angle A is going to equal the inverse tangent of A over B. So this is how we write the inverse, is with a -1. And so you would read this like I was saying, inverse sine A over C, inverse cosine B over C. And the inverse is used to find the angle. And you need two sides to find it. It just depends what two sides you're given. So we want to find the measure of angle A and round to the 10th. All right, so that's a big triangle. Whoops. All right. So again, I would start these problems the same way I would have started all the other problems we've done this unit. Identify what angle or what angle we're given. In this case, we're not given an angle, but we're looking for an angle, and we're looking for angle A. So I would still focus on angle A and label the sides then with respect to angle A. So this would be the hypotenuse, because it's opposite of the right angle. This would be the opposite side to A, and this would be the adjacent. And so nothing on the hypotenuse, so we'll ignore that. Okay, so I have the opposite and adjacent. Remember our acronym. Opposite and adjacent would be tangent of A equals 6 over 20. So to find A then, the measure of angle A, I can take the inverse tangent of 6 over 20. All right, so I'll show you how to type this in the calculator. So no matter what calculator you're typing it into, like if you're looking at the sine, cosine, tangent, you'll see that right above those buttons you have inverse sine, inverse cosine, inverse tangent. To get to those buttons, you're going to have to either press a shift key or a second key. And usually it is on the upper left-hand corner here. So I would hit shift, and then depending on which one I need, in this case, tangent, but if you needed sine or cosine. Okay, so see it says tangent negative to the -1. So inverse tangent. And sometimes it will give you parentheses, but if it doesn't, like I know specifically on this one, you do still need to use parentheses. And then 6 divided by 20. We're going to round to the 10th, and then remember this is an angle. So this angle is about 16.7 degrees. Okay, let's look at another one. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to find angle A again, and 27 is the hypotenuse, and 18 would be opposite. This would be adjacent, but I'm not going to label it because there's nothing there. So I have opposite and hypotenuse. That means I'm going to use sine. So sine of A would equal 18 over 27. If I want to find the measure of angle A, then I'm going to use inverse sine 18 divided by 27. So sine, inverse sine would be then 18 divided by 27, 41.8 degrees. Be your answer. Okay, now you can basically find anything you need in a right triangle, depending on what you're given.